So anyway, get all the way to Turks and Caicos, got on my swimsuit, about to be at the pool, chilling, ring. You got the part.
Legacy, oh, legacy, oh.
And then I remember telling them, y'all get there early because it's probably going to be packed. Psych.
No.
Psych. If someone passes something on to you, take it in. Try to grow from it. Don't be so stuck and in your own way. I wish people would quit saying make a sequel. We dead. Only one alive is Jada, y'all. We dead.
Legacy, oh, legacy.
Hey. Hey, girl, hey.
Thank you for doing this.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
I'm so honored to talk to you today.
Thank you.
And there's so much to talk about. Man, this career. Sheesh, legacy.
Mommy's been working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always like to start with a project that is like the beginning for someone, right? But I know that you had been on television a little bit before this show that I'm going to talk about.
Okay.
But the reason why I wanted to start here is because it's where I was introduced to you.
Oh.
It was the first time I saw you.
Now you got my mind spinning.
I know. And this is a TV show that was short-lived, but there's a thing amongst us in the community that if you say it, you know it. And that is Out All Night.
Yes. With Patti LaBelle.
Patti LaBelle, a young Morris Chestnut, and I went back and I watched the pilot again.
Did you really? Oh my God, I was so green.
I mean, but also, like, all 13 episodes are available to watch on YouTube.
Wow.
And I think that's because it kind of sort of developed this audience. And I think people my age remember it coming on and seeing that star power.
Yeah.
But I think what was special about the show is that you were the fresh face.
Yes, I
because
was.
we knew Dwayne Martin. I think it was after Morris had done Boys in the Hood, correct?
Yes, it was.
And obviously the legendary Patti LaBelle.
Yeah.
So one, I wanted to know what that was like for you being on that set and being a central character in that show. And you're literally between Patti LaBelle and probably one of our favorite heartthrobs to ever live. But what was that like for you at that time, walking onto that set and having to do this multicam comedy?
I just remember being super excited, to be very honest with you. They let us go meet Patti at one of her concerts before we taped.
Wow.
And of course, who's not excited to meet the Patti LaBelle,
Yeah.
you know? And she was sweet. We went in their dressing room. She said, come on in, baby.
Yes.
Yeah, and then with us doing the show, like you said, I got to work with Morris, who just came off of Boys in the Hood, Dwayne Martin, and it was a blast because it was like a party every week because we always had a musical guest. So a lot of folks came through there.
TLC's in the first episode.
Yep, TLC. We've had Mary J. Blige, Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
Yeah.
When he had 3 nipples. Which he was totally different then than what he is now. Now he's businessman.
CEO,
Yeah.
Wow.
And I just remember it was just always fun. It was always fun. It was always like a party tape night because, you know, you rehearse during the week.
Absolutely.
And then you have tape night. And that was in the days of a live audience.
Right.
You know, now they don't have live audience, and I miss that.
Yeah.
I really do, because you know whether or not something is funny or not immediately.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think what I've talked about, you know, sat here with Cheryl Lee Ralph, Jada Pinkett, obviously Debbie Allen. We've talked about the skill set one needs to have to work on a multicam comedy because it is a sort of a unique way of acting.
Yes.
So can you speak to that experience and what that was like for you to kind
Learn
of
to
find
hit your
rhythm?
mark.
Yeah.
Yes, please do.
Did you learn it pretty quickly? Did it come fast for you?
I did. Thank God I had did soap operas.
Right.
So that was, for me, was like training, going to acting school, learning to hit your mark, know your light, this, that, and the third. And so, you know, you get other actors that are new, that are, of course, nervous.
Right.
That miss their marks and stuff like that, that you're just like, ugh. But it was fun. I have nothing but the fondest of memories of taping the show. It was when we got, unfortunately, prematurely canceled.
Okay, exactly.
We only went one season, and I remember that coming in that next night that next day, thinking for table reading, and I could see the look on the head writer's, executive producer's face.
Wow.
And here I'm expecting them to be like, yo, we killed it last night. You know what I'm saying? And they was like, we're canceled.
Wow.
And I will never forget Patti LaBelle. I cried my face off, child. Because, you know, when you get your first big show,
Yeah.
you just think, oh my God, is it ever going to get better than this?
Wow.
And I remember Patti LaBelle, she said, girl, you done cried so much you turning white.
Ooh.
That's how much I cried. I was just devastated
Wow.
because I thought I just knew it would be around for a while because people enjoyed it so much.
Right.
And shock, surprise,
Wow.
surprise, surprise, you canceled.
Okay.
So,
well, what was that like for you being a young actress?
Yes.
You know, obviously surrounded by a lot of star power. So I think that was that kind of jarring for you
Yes, it
that
was.
you're like, I'm on this show with these big stars
Yeah.
next to me.
Yeah.
And obviously there was love for it and it still endures.
It is.
But what was that moment like for you? Obviously you were crying, but
Yeah.
how did you kind of
Heartbreaking.
figure it out? Yes, of course.
Heartbreaking and devastated
Yeah.
because, like, oh no, now I got to go back out there and audition and try and get another job.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Oh my God, I'm ever going to get to work with Patti LaBelle, who taught me all about shoes and
Wow.
fashion and life. But she came and she was just, you're going to be fine.
Wow.
You're gonna be fine. You're talented. You'll get another job, baby. You're going to be all right.
She was correct.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
We're gonna make a big leap now
Okay.
to movies.
Small screen to the big screen.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
And this movie was really impactful for, I think, not just me, but for the world. And you being a part of it, I think, is something that makes the movie extra special. And that movie is Independence Day.
Okay, another story.
Box office success
Yes.
is very hard. It's like winning the lottery. And
There's
y'all-
no guarantees.
There's no guarantees.
Yes.
But you guys hit the lottery with that
Yes.
movie. And I remember seeing it multiple times in a movie theater. Like that was then like, let's go, what are we doing? We gonna see Independence Day again? Sure. It was that kind of time. And I remember seeing you in it.
In my
particular.
G-string.
Yeah. Playing a sex worker before it was popular. But I just have to ask, when you were doing it,
Yes.
is there any inkling, is there any idea of what that movie was going to be?
Yeah.
Oh, you could feel it.
Yes. So, quick story. I had to audition 6 times to get the part because I was on a soap opera, Young and the Restless at the time.
Wow.
And I had no movie credits. And I had just did an episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air with Will, and I played the date from hell. And I got the part because, first of all, Will's tall. So I'm tall, and I went into my audition and killed it. They were like, wow, she's funny. So when I heard about Independence Day, because everybody and their mama wanted to be in this movie because we heard it was gonna be big.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I hit my agent, and I'll never forget, I was like, Chris, how come I'm not? I just worked with Will and killed it. And they were like, honey, you're on a soap opera. You ain't got, this is going to be a $60 million movie. So sorry. So thank God the producer's wife, Bill Fay, his wife was pregnant at the time, sitting at home watching Young and the Restless, which I was on. And I remember I was just pouting, like, dang, don't even let me audition. And my agent called me and said, you got the call. I said, what call? Independence Day called looking for you today.
Wow.
But I didn't think that they were going to let me out to go and audition for it. And I was like, yo, I'm quitting. I don't care. I'll quit. No, I'm going up for Independence Day.
Wow.
So first audition, they were like, Miss Fox, you can go ahead. We carved it out. And I went in the audition with a tight white patent leather jumpsuit on. She was a stripper.
Okay.
Come on, stay
Okay.
with me now.
Look,
Stay with me. Stay
played
with me.
character.
Right. So I went in, and the first thing that the who's your the audition the
Casting director?
casting director said, interesting choice. But I was so focused right here. I was like, I know my lines.
I'm not bothered.
I'm not getting sidetracked.
Not gonna
No,
distract me.
not at all. You ready? I know my lines. I'm ready. So we finished the audition, and she said, you know, it's a good thing you can act. And I said, wow, why do you say that? And she said, because that outfit is totally wrong. I said, oh, well, she's a stripper. She goes, she's a stripper, but that's not who she is.
Wow.
And I said, she goes, I'm gonna give you some homework. She said, I'm gonna give you a call back. So I was thrilled about that.
I'll take it.
And she said, I want you to watch the movie. What was the movie with Keanu Reeves and Sandra Speed? And look at Sandra Bullock and how she's dressed and the character. So this is when I first learned my thing about character. Child, I was just making sure I knew my lines and could hit it. And so I got it. And so when I came back in, I had on this cute little dress with combat boots and some little anklet, little stuff around it. And as soon as I walked in, she said, "You did your homework." Oh. And from that point forward, she fought for me to get the role. So 6 auditions later and a screen test, I got it. However, at the premiere, the director, Roland Emmerich, told me, "It's a good thing you did good, because my first choice, your first day of filming, my first choice said she was available. But I looked at your dailies and you lit up the screen."
Ooh, well, that is correct, because you do light the screen up. And, you know, to stand next to Will Smith, which you had done already on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but obviously, you know, sitcom, you know, multi-cam is very different. In Independence Day, obviously, he'd become a movie star.
Yes.
And you are right there with him, and you have a young son. How was it different working with Will on Independence Day versus Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
Oh my gosh, by then Will had turned into a movie star.
Right.
You could see him in Bad Boys running down the street with the shirt open.
It was
Everybody
different.
was like, "Wow, you've grown up."
This is new.
Yeah. So he was really focused. I'll never forget, we had a couple of days off and we were in Wendover, Utah, and it was windy, and there was a reason, because we shot on the salt flats, so they wanted that whole end of the world kind of look, which they achieved.
Absolutely.
And it was my day off, so I was at the jacuzzi having a margarita. I was off, and Will came by holding Trey and was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Enjoying my day off." He goes, "We get no days off."
Classic.
Made me go up to the room, and we went and worked out.
Wow.
Yeah. I still had a margarita after. He didn't know.
Wow. So what did that say to you? Yeah, were you thinking, "Oh, this is just Will being super focused"?
Yes.
Or was it you saying, "Okay, maybe I need to keep that in mind"?
Well, I'm a person that has learned to balance out life. You know, some actors, like, I'll never forget when we did Why Do Fools Fall in Love, Lorenz wanted you to call him Frankie constantly. And I'm not that type of actor. I know how to turn off. I have to, because I just am not an actor that needs to stay in character 24/7. You know, you get your method actors that when they do a part, they live and breathe it. I'm not like that. I have to have a normal life. When it's work time, I'm 100.
Yeah.
But I can't. I have to balance out life.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's interesting. That makes sense. Just to wrap it up with the Independence Day of it all, when it did blow up, and it was #1 and it stayed there for weeks and weeks, how did that make you feel? Did you feel as though, okay, I've arrived now and I'm gonna take off? Or were you just wondering, I'm still curious about where my next job is going?
Well, I was actually filming Booty Call, so that lets you know how life was going.
Okay. We're gonna get to that.
We're gonna get to Booty Call. And honestly, and we were filming in Toronto, and it was sold out. It was playing 24 hours, and it was selling out around the clock. Independence Day was the first of the big blockbuster films.
Yeah.
You know, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Over 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And it started the trend of summer blockbusters. And I'm so grateful for that. It's an experience. I'm glad, to be honest with you, that I wasn't in America. Because my head would have got this big, which it got big anyway.
Look.
You know, until I had to stick a pin in it and bring it back down to earth. But I'm glad that I wasn't in America, that I was in Canada. So I went back and focused on working with Jamie Foxx and Tommy Davidson and doing a comedy. Wow. So it was so trippy to go from the premiere in Westwood with the lights, and it was all of Westwood. You know, you get your premieres and you get like a little block, or maybe, Hollywood Boulevard. But no, this was all of Westwood. Wow. That's how much press we got.
When you were standing on that red carpet,
yes,
were you thinking about that young lady whose show got canceled all those years ago, and kind of wondering how you got there or just being thankful for that moment that you fought for it?
Woo. That's a great question because, to be honest with you, I did 5 films back to back to back. So I tell people now, when I look back at my career, I miss so many moments.
Wow.
Because I was on the treadmill of success. Do you know what I mean? Where it's like, what's next? What's next? What's next? That I didn't take the time to smell the roses. I'm such a workaholic.
Mm-hmm.
To my benefit and to my detriment. Now I've balanced that. Even though I told you I know how to cut it off.
Mm-hmm.
But when it came to being successful, I was extremely driven because I started late.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't start acting until I was 24.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you for that. That's real. We're going to talk about another movie of yours that, I don't say this lightly.
Mm.
It changed who I was when I walk out of the theater. Like,
No wonder when you see me, you hug me the way you do.
yeah, because it's like, it's not just once, it keeps happening. You keep showing up in films and TV shows that have really pushed culture forward.
Yes.
And I think that's why it's really just such an honor just to be in conversation with you. But this movie in particular, I remember being very young, sitting in the movie theater, okay, with my mom.
I never
and
knew
her
you were
friends.
such a movie buff.
Oh my God. It's like, it was a lifeline growing up in Chicago, just
Yeah.
going to the movies
Yes.
with family and friends. And so we walk in to see this movie, Set It Off.
Oh.
And we walk out just different.
Yeah.
Set It Off is one of those moments
Yeah.
that you just don't forget. And I was old school. I watched it on VHS. I put it in the VHS TV. Put it in there where you had like a music video before the movie
I
started.
do. I do. Yes.
I'm like,
Yes.
wow. There are these moments that keep happening that I'm like, damn, that's good. Wow, that's great. What a small, nuanced moment that was. And I think the thing that stands out to me about Set It Off is that it starts with you.
Yes.
We're on you.
Yeah.
And what's so special about what you're doing with this character is she's a Black woman who is working at a bank, which is very corporate.
Yes.
But the person that steps up, who we know is there to rob the bank, is someone
Darnell.
she knows
Mhm.
from her neighborhood.
Yes.
And just that, walking that tightrope
Yes.
of being in corporate America, but also knowing where you come from, is something I think you do really well on screen. And I think it's why so many Black women see themselves in you, and but still kind of aspire as well when they see you. And I just was curious, one, how did the movie come to you?
Okay.
How did it come?
So F. Gary Gray came to visit me on the set of Independence Day.
Wow.
And I'll never forget this night. It was the night with the tunnel scene, with the getting out of the car, great hair moment, wind, all that wonderful thing. And I turned, and because I knew G, and I was like, G, what you doing here? And he's like, I came to see you. And I was like, for what? He goes, I want you to come and audition for my new movie I'm about to do. And I was like, what's the name of it? And he's like, Set It Off. And I was like, okay. He says, but I'm going to hit you after this because it's going to be more to your audition than what I'm able to tell you. So I hit him up and I was like, what's up? And he's like, unfortunately, we have a name on hold for the role that I think you're perfect for. So I want you in my movie. If you don't get to play Frankie, I want you to play TT, but I want you in my movie, Vivica. And I said, okay, bet. I was doing Independence Day, and I'll never forget, I was on the set, and I was kind of reading through my stuff, and Will was like, what you doing? And I was like, I'm going to audition for Set It Off. And he's like, well, Jada? He said, come on.
Oh, my
Right. So Will
gosh.
Smith was my coach for Set It Off. So we went in, and he was like, you got to just, like, take this shit, Vivica. Like, you can do this. He's like, TT, Frankie.
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I will never forget, he coached me. He made me get more aggressive. He's just such a wonderful actor. And he had grown so much himself as an actor.
Yeah.
So I went in and I did Frankie and TT. And F. Gary Gray had the same reaction. He was like, yo, dog, you Frankie. I got to figure this out. I got to figure this out. I got to figure this out. And he just said, I'll stay in touch with you, V, but to me, you Frankie. And I'll never forget getting the call, and it worked out. So when we filmed Set It Off, my desire to give Frankie 1,000% was just, I don't think I've ever been so dedicated to a character.
What did you want to bring to that character?
Well, for me, it was me getting my street cred.
Mm.
Because everybody used to just see me as the pretty girl, the girlfriend, you know, rolling neck a little bit, you know what I mean? But Frankie gave me my street cred because everybody was like, yo, I didn't know Vivica could be like that.
Yeah.
Not knowing I grew up 2 blocks from the projects, but as you said, I can walk the line of professional and then have a little hood in me. But that Frankie got hood after getting fired.
Yeah, and also being traumatized.
And
seeing
traumatized as
someone
well,
shot and
too.
killed
Yeah.
in front of her as well.
And I take my hat off to F. Gary Gray because he made sure that those relationships were established, that they meant something. Why would these, because I'll never forget he said this to me, I refuse to have people go in thinking that this is a comedy, 4 girls robbing banks. He said, I want them to feel y'all. And mission accomplished.
We do. Can you talk to me about filming the scene when you're being interrogated after the robbery?
Ooh.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's so moving, and so much so that I rewound it and just watched you again of how just human you are in that moment. What did you do to get there, to prepare for that scene?
Well, I will say this. Thank God I did soap operas. And when I say that, soap operas are an excellent training ground for any actor to learn material. You have to do monologues. You have to learn so much. You got to hit your mark. You got to learn to cry. So for Frankie, for me, what are you talking about? Yesterday I just counted da 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 da. Yeah. For me, almost came out effortless because we shot the film in order. Wow. So we did the bank robbery and Darnell coming in, and he just let me, when he blew her head, you know, that actress, by the way, she was an older actress. She was good. She was real good because it looked like a chunk came out of her head. And I was like, wow. So actually, and then he just let me feel what it was like to be left alone and nobody helped you. And then to be, as you say, interrogated, and then to be blamed.
Yeah.
So
you might be in
collusion. You were in collusion.
Collusion.
Okay. Like, are you kidding me?
Woo.
So that was easy. And then I love that F. Gary Gray let me, the one line that I said to the actress
about the water?
when I said about the water, I ad-libbed that.
That's so interesting because I thought to myself, also how interesting about Set It Off that you have the white guy cop.
Yes,
you know,
who does his...
He does his thing.
Yeah.
But his partner is a black woman.
Is a black woman. And I told him, I said, come on, G, you got to give me this. You got to get, look, she's the only black woman in the room and she drinking water while I'm splattered with blood and she does nothing. And he said, I'm going to give you one take.
Oh.
One. And that happened several times in Set It Off, that he would let me ad-lib and he kept it.
Wow. Well, that was making me ask, what was the experience like working with F. Gary Gray?
Awesome.
I mean,
F. Gary Gray and Quentin Tarantino are my 2 favorite directors that I've ever worked with.
What was about F. Gary Gray that spoke to you?
Well, first of all, he was a young African-American man with a huge responsibility. And then he was bringing in Dr. Dre and you know what I mean? He was bringing the hood to Hollywood, $9 million film that ended up grossing, I think it was 40, which at the time was, we were just killing it.
Big now.
And we were, and we were in half the theaters of our competitors, which was white. So, you know, I loved like my first 5 films. It was like the little movies that they only gave us half of the theaters because at the time black films didn't sell. But they learned.
Right. What was it like being with those other 3 actresses every day?
Awesome. A sisterhood that I will never forget. And we made a classic.
You did. You did.
And I'm so very proud of that. And the fact that all of us are still working,
Yes.
it's just, and producing and doing all kinds of stuff, it is a testament to the sacrifice and the effort. Because we shot, I think, 3 to 6 weeks of the film at night. So we were like vampires. You go to work at 6. I know, the worst, night shoots. And it was cold. And my scene when I got killed, they had to wet the street. It was cold. I think it was like 4:30
a.m.
a.m. Thank you. And but the good thing is that I was doing my stuff on like 2 takes or so.
Ooh.
Yeah, G would be like, "Got it." But that's how focused I was, and how
Wow.
much I wanted to make him proud more than anything else. Like, you picked the right one.
Wow. I
Yeah.
love he came and got you too. He's like, look, you need to be in this movie.
Yeah.
I do. Last question I want to ask is about that final scene with you.
Yes.
We talk about the first scene and how much you had to bring there.
Yeah.
What was that like for you as an actress, stepping onto that set, knowing
I was going to be killed that night.
Yeah.
I'm very athletic. So for me, I wanted to show him how good I was with my body.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I don't know if you'll notice it, that when they shot me, when I fell out of camera, you saw my feet go all the way up. And G was like, "Oh my God, I cannot believe you just did that." And yeah, I went all out for him. I really did. And it is what, thank God I am so physical, because the roles that I played have been very physical. And so, but I do remember that ground was wet and cold. Yeah.
Look, it's an unforgettable performance.
Thank you.
And it's just an honor to watch again and again and again. And all of you make the movie phenomenal. But
And I wish people would quit saying make a sequel. We dead. Only one alive is Jada, y'all. We dead.
that's the testament to how much people love
Yes,
these characters.
I know.
And I just love the nuances, even that scene when you don't want TT to get some of the cut because she didn't do what she was supposed to do. But
I was jealous of her.
Ooh, jealous because
Messed around with my guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
That was
right.
the under thing that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
She had messed around with my guy. That's why I was so jealous of her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what was dope was as I was watching the movie again and that scene came up, I didn't even realize it, but I said it with you when you said, "It's not you I'm mad at."
Yes.
That's how much this movie is in our DNA. That I'm watching it for research and I just go, "It's not you I'm mad at." That's how iconic you are
Yeah.
and these characters are. But also even in that moment, I just think, wow, sisterhood.
Yes, exactly.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
It's a you make a mistake
Mm-hmm.
and then Stoney, she's like, "Nah, come on." And you're like, "All right, yeah, you're right, my bad."
Mm-hmm.
It's just also the conversation you all have when you're kind of playing with the Godfather, and you really showed us.
Another scene we shot at 3:00 in the morning.
But it's just
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
light, it is
yes.
funny, but you guys are showing us what sisterhood actually is supposed to look like. So beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay, so from the sublime to the humorous.
Okay.
We're gonna talk about Booty Call. Okay. I remember going to see this movie at the movie theater. That's the other cool thing. It's like,
Yeah, I know.
Like I get to have these memories,
Yes.
and my aunt took my sister and I remember she didn't want to say the name of the movie when she was asking for the ticket.
How you think I feel telling my mama?
Here's the deal. My probably 12-year-old or whatever, I said, let me get 3 for Booty Call, please. Bullshit, And
Knowing you probably love saying it too.
my aunt was like, "Oh my, what am I doing? I'm babysitting them, but this is, I don't know." And we're like, "Relax, it's fine." And so we in there and we're just cracking up.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a lot of sexual stuff.
Yes, it is.
But it just was, it was amazing. So I'm curious, what was the experience like for you reading that script? Were you laughing at the script?
Oh, yeah. Well, first of all, when I found out I was working with Jamie Foxx and Tommy Davidson, at first I was a little intimidated. I'm not going to lie. Here these guys are from In Living Color.
Iconic.
Do you know what I mean? I was like, oh my God, they're probably going to slay the girls. They're having 2 girls in the Tamala Jones
Tamala
at the
Jones
time was new. She was so new booty. Do you know what I mean? No, she was new booty. Like I had to tell, I was like, come here. I know I did. You can ask her. I
love her now.
turned into her mentor.
Oh.
I let her. told her don't spend all her per diem shopping in Toronto.
I'm not going to do this with you.
I had to.
Save
Tamala was like, yo, man, how much money they giving us? I'm going shopping. But anyway, it was awesome. We filmed in Toronto, but you just had to put your big girl boots on and learn to listen and counter, especially with those guys, because you never knew what they were going to throw at you. Oh, please.
I was going to ask her, how much ad-libbing is happening at that table when y'all playing cards?
Oh, the scene at the thing. By then, I thought I was real good. I thought I was hanging. I had my moments worked out. But it was a moment in the restaurant that Tommy Davidson was teaching the little waiter guy. You are a big mouth horse bitch motherfucker. And we were like,
oh my God.
And he didn't tell us. He had told the guy to say that. You are a horse mouth bitch. Yeah, sorry. I'm not allowed to swear. Sorry. But yes, I know. You like, we grown.
Yeah. Cool.
So Tommy was giving the waiter lines and not telling us. So we were cracking up constantly. It was so funny, so much fun. But never do a film with Jamie Foxx and go partying with him.
Oh, well, I know. Please.
Yeah. Jamie can party. And then be up on the set the next morning like
nothing.
Like no big deal.
Well,
and then play the piano.
And
me and I was in the room next to him and he was playing that damn piano. And I was like, boy, if you don't stop playing it, what's that going to get you? Oh, well, just an Oscar, for playing Ray. But I didn't get it at the time. I was hungover.
Look. Well, here's my question. I'm curious, how much of it was on the page, and how much of it would you say you all brought to it?
I would say 80-20.
Okay.
They let Jamie and Tommy play, and myself. They started trusting me, stuff that I came up with. But I would say Jeff Pollock, rest his soul, he passed away. He was like cool. He was partners with Benny Medina, so he would let us play.
Nice.
Which you're always grateful for when the director trusts you and they're not going, cut, okay, that wasn't on page, and there's an and I need a comma, and I'm not hearing your G's. Welcome to the world of acting.
Look, well, here's the deal. I did talk to Jada when she was here about what it was like working with Eddie Murphy and Nutty Professor. What was it like for you going toe-to-toe with Jamie Foxx and Booty Call?
Intimidating. Absolutely. Jamie is just the best at comedy. And he's very good with physical comedy, with his face and his mannerisms. You know what I mean? That he could just turn and, the lips and you're just like, whoa, where'd that come from? So.
You keep up with him, though.
I did.
You two are so great. That's why I was curious I was like, I wonder if comedy just comes so naturally, or if there was a natural chemistry between you two. And had you two met before that?
No.
You hadn't met before that?
No.
Wow.
No. I mean, I was obviously a fan. And
so you were familiar with his work?
Oh, absolutely.
You hadn't worked together.
And they kept wanting him to do things that were like Wanda, and he refused to do it. And he said, I have to break away from that character. So he enjoyed playing Buns.
Listerine.
And I was Listerine, of course.
Wow.
Yeah, and he really enjoyed the scene with the peanut butter underneath the table and the dog, and it was.
Of course.
I did not want my mother to go see that movie. Oh my God, I did not. I did not. It was so sexual. My mom was from the church, so you know what that's like.
Look.
Yeah. Okay.
Look. Yeah, my family, lazy Christians. But. Were you, because obviously you was like, I'm going to go all in.
Yes.
I'm going to have a good time. We're going to do this movie.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, were you just like, I want to do this? Or were you thinking, what are people going to say? Not just my mom. The title is what it is. But then also it endures and it has this legacy as well. I mean, we're here talking about it.
So, I know. And when 13-year-old little boys come up to me and say, I really liked you in Booty Call.
Well,
I kind of figured we had a moment
you're
together.
You're part of their sexual awakening.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
So it's a double-edged sword. That's all I can say.
Because I'm curious, what is happening for you with your choice making at that time? Yes, you're saying you're very ambitious and you're on the treadmill.
Yeah.
But are those things happening where you're like, okay, I've done this film, I've done this. Are you being super strategic, or are you being open to the opportunities that are coming? And was Booty Call an offer?
Yes.
It was an offer. So they asked you to do it.
I haven't, fortunately, had to audition in years.
Nice. Yeah. So
that's always a blessing, because they were sending me movies with the best cast available. That how could I say no, to be very honest with you.
So Jamie was already involved?
Yes.
With Booty
Yeah,
and
the first thing they
Tommy?
said was Jamie and Tommy. And I was
Wow.
like in there. And then I knew Jeff and, so I was aligned. You get your actresses that when they start having their moments,
Right.
that they start getting the offers and you don't have to audition.
Right.
So I was literally like, I think 5 to 6 films back to back to back that every time they released, they were coming #1, minimum top 5.
Wow.
Yeah, my films were doing amazing for me.
Yeah. So Booty Call, would you say that sort of came in terms of your name, they called to
Yes.
get you, and you're like, sure, I want to do this?
Yeah, I mean, to be #1 or 2 on the call sheet, that
Right.
lets you know that those are your leads
Right.
in the film. So, and like I said, they were just lining me up with cast members that were just, I almost couldn't say no. And I like versatility.
Right.
I think that versatility has been the key to my longevity.
Right.
That, wow, okay. Just when you try to put her in a box because you think she's the good-looking girl, that then she can go over there and kick some butt. Then she can go over there and make you cry. Then she can go over there and play somebody's mama.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that that's why my career has lasted so long and that I've been able to gracefully go into different chapters. Thank you, God.
Yeah, truly. Here's another movie that has endured
Okay.
and that I love so much, and I saw it so many times in a movie theater. I'm talking about Soul Food.
Oh,
And being from Chicago,
yeah.
seeing it in Chicago in a movie theater was a very unique experience. And I think that's because there was a pride in that you guys are filming in our city.
Yeah.
And George Tillman
Yes.
is a Chicagoan, went to Columbia College. So I want to ask, what was the George Tillman experience like for you?
Awesome. Yet another offer that he came directly to me. It's like, you're Maxine. But I'll never forget the scene on the lake with the sun, where I was like, I carried your little butt for 9 months. It was freezing.
The
It was-
sky is looking beautiful though in that
Stunning.
scene. I
Stunning.
was like, is this painted?
I know. It almost didn't look real.
It doesn't look real. I was looking at it again. I said, look at the sky. Look at this black mother and son, and you're encouraging him, and he's trying to get the family back together. It's such a wholesome but like messy movie.
It really
about
is.
Black families.
Yep. George did his thing. He
Yeah.
really did. And that was a limited budget. Our executive producers were Tracy Edmonds and
Babyface.
Babyface.
You
The
know I know.
soundtrack
Come
was
on.
lit.
Bang.
Okay.
I have a
Yes.
vintage T-shirt I was wearing yesterday. It's called Soul Food Soundtrack. Like
I'm surprised you didn't wear it today.
That would have been too much.
That would have been too
But I
much.
was wearing
It would
it
have been
around
two on the
yesterday.
head.
Like,
Right.
two. Like me wearing it, watching Soul Food yesterday was a whole situation.
But it was awesome. We filmed it. The scenes are just so memorable. Like me and Nia in the thing, and I was like, "You pregnant?"
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
the fishes.
You
Well,
gonna,
I was thinking about
yeah.
fishes, yeah.
You're gonna always be my sister. No matter what. And then Irma P. Hall, who played Big
Yeah, that's her
Mama,
song.
and Vanessa.
Come on.
The sisterhood. And you know what I love about my films? They're always connected to holidays: Independence Day, 4th of July. Soul Food, Thanksgiving.
Yes.
So, my films will always stay classics that stay with you for the holidays, that represent family, that represent celebration, and you seeing your first African Americans as the winners and superheroes of the film with Will and me saving the first lady and the dog.
Yeah.
So,
Y'all was doing a big one. So Soul Food, what I was thinking about when watching it again,
Yes.
is just that it's so relatable,
yeah.
I think, in terms of all the sisters. Obviously,
Yeah.
Maxine is a homemaker and a
Mhm.
mother and a loving
Yes.
wife. And then you have Terry, who
Mhm.
is a lawyer and professional.
And the provider.
the provider.
Yes, who
And-
constantly let you know.
Yes.
Mhm.
And then obviously you have Bird, who is like an
Yeah.
entrepreneur. I'm curious, what did you want to bring to Maxine, because she is a wife, she is a mother,
Yes.
and you just inhabit that character so beautifully. You feel so in your body, and it feels so real. What were you thinking about as you were preparing for that part?
A lot of my characters, I based them on people that I know or my family members.
Okay.
Maxine was my sister Shuggy.
Wow.
Yeah. And my sister Shuggy is the glue that holds our family together. The fortunate thing with us is that our family is really not beefing like they did. But of course, there was drama for the movie. Got to have that.
Yeah.
But I based Maxine on my sister because she's such a good mom. Like, she's everything I wish I could have had.
Hmm.
But I'm not regretful of my choices. You know what I mean? I'm the career one. In a way, I'm kind of like Terry. I'm the one that financially, when things need it, I make sure it happens. I don't complain as much about it. Well, sometimes, but but my sister to this day is just such a nurturing, kind, beautiful woman. And so that's what I base Maxine. But she can get ghetto with you now.
Because we all can.
Don't push no buttons.
Don't do it.
Don't
start,
do it.
Won't be.
Don't do it.
A theme that kind of keeps popping up in your career, and it will again, another we're going to talk about, is sisterhood.
Yes.
Obviously, with Set It Off,
Yes.
and literally in Soul Food. What was that experience like for you with Vanessa and Nia to develop a bond on set that feels more familial? You know, because obviously with Set It Off, these are your friends,
so
and you
Nia.
buy it, you know. But you know, in Set It Off, Set It Off in Soul Food, your sisters, your siblings.
Yes.
And so what did you all do behind the scenes to develop that chemistry that you have, that we just believe it? We buy y'all are actual sisters, and this is a family that you all are part of. I buy it.
Nia and I knew each other, so that wasn't as hard. Now, I will admit that when we were filming Soul Food, we didn't get to have as much time with Vanessa, just due to the fact her schedule was crazy at the time, because she was like at an album, was doing stuff on the weekend and stuff like that. But to be honest with you, it worked to our advantage, because she was supposed to be the cold one that we really couldn't connect, the one that was the provider, who was always out working, who was there, but not really. So it worked to our advantage. And we spent a lot of times, we all go out and have something to eat in Chicago. You know, Chicago got great restaurants. Yeah. So, you know, so we would all bond. And to this day, Brandon, who played Ahmad, my son, we're still very close.
Wow. Yeah. That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think there's an interesting thing about Soul Food, that obviously it endures.
Yes.
And it's that thing where it comes up again in dialogue and online. And there's a conversation that's happening that I said I want to ask you about. Is Terry right? Is it sometimes fuck the family? You know, because I'm watching it back and I'm like, yo, this is tough. Like, you took her man back in the day, married to him, got kids, it's cool. The cousin is now, you know, messing around with her husband. Yeah. And she trying to help get, you know, Lem out of jail. She really is taking on a lot. But at the time, we watching it, why is she so upset? Why she got such an attitude? Now we're looking at it and we're like, yo, did Terry have a point?
Yeah. I trust me, being the provider in my family sometimes, it drives me, I ain't gonna even lie. The last birthday party I had with my brother cost me $30,000. I was like, look here.
Wow.
Look here. I'm tired. When you gonna pay it? Because we're born on the same day.
Wow.
Yeah, it's July 30th, 4 years apart. But look, I had so much fun, but I was mad having fun. Because I was like, why am I the one always writing the checks?
Wow.
Yeah, so I get it. So that's why I said, I get family. And because when we were filming, Vanessa was, she played that character perfectly. She really did. And we recently just did like a 25-year reunion deal. And it was awesome. You know, it's like we're all forever connected. You know how sometimes you work on movies and when it's over, you're like, oh yeah, what movie did we do together? Okay. But us, it's like we all went out to eat afterwards, and it was lovely.
Wow. I mean, I got to admit, too, because the movie was such a big deal for us in Chicago and our family. I remember when the series was being announced, and I said, how is this going to work? What? What?
Yeah.
And then I ended up liking the series, and I watched it a lot. And I was like, okay, great. But that
casting.
also just goes to show, that it can endure. Yeah. And it really taught me something as a young kid, because I was kind of feeling weird about it. I said, how do you do Soul Food as a series without the cast? And then of course I'm a part of a movie called Dear White People that then becomes a show on Netflix where they don't have the whole cast. And how does
that make you feel?
Well, I think I just thought, I learned this lesson already because of Soul Food. Because I was sitting in front of the TV.
Because I was jealous at first when they was doing the series, and I couldn't do it. I ain't gonna even lie. I was like, how y'all not gonna have the original cast?
I mean, I said the same thing, but the truth is, because y'all, here's if we really look at it this way. Y'all were established.
True.
People knew who all of you were, and it was a big deal for the three of you to be on that screen together. And so I think for another Vanessa Williams to take on
I know.
Maxine.
Yeah.
And obviously,
trippy.
yeah,
You're
I know, right?
Yeah.
And then Melinda, and obviously, Nicole Parker.
Yeah.
That was a big moment for them.
Yes.
For us to sort of be introduced and to go, even though they had been around, but it was
still new.
And to be with them every week and for it to work, I think it shows the legacy again that you began. You originated these roles.
I'm the OG.
You the OG.
That's right.
You the OG, but you opened up a door for another actress to step in and create it, have her own Maxine.
I mean, it took a while for me to detach. I'm not gonna lie.
I get that.
Do you know what I mean? When I was kind of like, that's our stuff. But then they were so good and it became so successful that, I'm not a hater. I'm a congratulator. I was like, y'all did it.
Look, you started it. You started it.
Yes.
Sisterhood, the theme of sisterhood continues with this next movie. And I was very grateful to see in a movie theater. And I wish the theater had been a little bit more crowded, but it didn't matter. It was important that I was there with my friends watching this movie. And that is why Fools Fall in Love.
Yes.
We skipped out of that movie theater.
Yes.
Singing the songs and just being blown away again by the star power. You, Halle Berry, Phylicia Rashad, Lorenz Tate. It blew us away. We didn't know anything about Frankie Lyman. We're like in junior high, like we're going to go to high school. We weren't familiar.
So can I tell you that was the first time in my career I was disappointed? And let me tell you why.
Yeah.
The studio, they do the tests, pre-tests, to see how it's gonna on the radar or whatever it was, and we were getting scores through the roof, and we weren't supposed to come out until Christmas time, which was to be a setup for award season. Because Lord knows I worked my tail off playing Elizabeth, going from 16 to 60 and prosthetics and this, that, and the third.
Work.
And I was actually doing a sitcom at the same time. So I was working like crazy. But I was really, Ella Joyce was my acting coach, who didn't give me no water and set it off. But yes, Ella Joyce was working with me at the time. She had done Brock, she had done everything. And I was like, Ella, I need you. They're having me do this movie and this sitcom at the same time. Help.
Wow.
And I've never been a person that's afraid to ask for help or if I don't know something. I always tell young actors, if you have a question, don't be afraid to speak up.
Yeah.
Because you'll regret it if you don't. So anyway, make a long story short, we were testing through the roof and they decided to put us out early against Studio 54 and this little movie with Chris comedian, him and Jackie Chan.
Oh, Chris Tucker.
Yeah, Chris Tucker, Rush Hour. We don't think you'll have to worry about Studio 54 because it's a different type of film. You never put two musicals out, kind of movies against one another. That's stupid. And aren't we supposed to come out in Christmas time? Why are you guys rushing this? Right. And they were like, well, because there's this little movie. I think we're going to beat all of them. Girl, Rush Hour came out and slaughtered everyone. I mean, everyone. Listen, I love Chris Tucker. Yeah, he's awesome. And I could not believe it. It was the first time that I even went to the movie theaters and nobody was there.
Wow.
I was shocked. I remember sitting, because that was then when I got like 20 of my friends.
Yeah.
Yo, come on, let's go check out another one of my flicks. Wow. No one was there. And I was like, and then I remember telling them, y'all get there early because it's probably going to be packed. Psych.
No.
Psych. I remember going in there like, did they let people in yet? Because this mug is empty.
Wow.
Yeah, and I remember being disappointed, and it was the first time my film didn't do numbers. However, critically, people came out going, Vivica, yo, you did your thing.
The scene with the dog?
The scene with the dog, that, and then the scene with me and Halle Berry eating where there was no dialogue, but everything was said.
I mean,
everything.
Also the pool scene, too. You yanking my
Girl, did you know I fell and hit my back?
What?
Girl, to this day, got a little bit of a bad back behind that scene because they had to wet the ground again, because they got to make it look dark. And I had on these little slippers, child, and was trying to run from Halle about this wig that I had on, and whoop, boom. Wow. Fell right on that tailbone. So I had to go to a chiropractor, and but once again, all in for the role. So I went and got adjusted and came right on back.
It's interesting because I was going to ask about that.
Yeah.
Was it surprising because of the star power at the time? But it just goes to show that if they put a movie out at a different time against something,
It's out of our hands.
right? Exactly. You don't have any control over it
At all.
and it's such a difficult thing
Yes.
to be probably sitting in that movie theater.
Oh,
and
I
you're
was
looking around
pissed.
like,
Where is everybody?
what is going
Don't they
on?
know Vivica Fox is in this movie and Lorenz and Halle Berry
And
the
Lena-
lineup?
like,
yeah.
what?
What? And then I told him, I said, you guys really didn't do your homework. And that pisses me off because at that time, they were thinking, okay, Vivica and the lineup is going to be guaranteed.
Right.
But timing, and Gregory Nava, the director, was just amazing. He just came off of Selena. So he also had that guaranteed box office type of deal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I think it's educational for people because I think you can get caught up in if we have this name, if we're doing
Yes.
this thing,
Mhm.
you know, but it's about if your audience doesn't know when it's coming out,
Mhm.
if they aren't aware, if
Yeah.
they don't really rally,
Yeah.
it'll kind of, and I remember it was that thing about do Black movies do well? How do we support them?
Oh, you know that used to piss me off to
Yeah.
hear.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't sell international. This is why we don't take your films international, or this is why you don't work on TV. You know, that when I first started acting, that used to be the thing that would devastate me the most, when you would see others getting opportunities that you didn't have, that you just literally had to kind of suck up and wait your turn and do the work. That was difficult to be around super talented people and having to wait our turn. That was very difficult.
I get it.
Yeah.
You know, there's a really big moment, I think, that happened when Halle Berry won the Academy
Yes.
Award. And I remember watching it late. It was very late at night. in
Oh, you're on
Chicago.
the, yeah.
Yeah. It was late. Everybody had gone to bed at that point, and I was just in my room with my little TV, and I was watching and hoping, you know. 'cause
For her?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hoping.
Yeah.
And of course, that door was opened,
Yeah.
as she said. And I think what stayed with me was the roll call she did about the actresses beside her. She said Angela Bassett, Jada Pinkett.
Vivica A. Fox.
Mm-hmm. Where were you when you watched that?
I was at a Hollywood party.
What
Yeah.
was that like to
It
hear
still
her
makes
say
me very emotional.
your name?
Yeah. Like I'll forever be connected to her.
Absolutely.
She did not have to share that moment with any of us. She didn't. And the fact that she did share it with us just made it even more incredible, because for such a long time, when we all started acting, it could only be one of us in a room.
Mm-hmm.
One. And they pitted us against each other. I can remember going up for roles and it would be me, Leela, excuse me. Oh gosh, at that time, I think Robin Givens, like, you know, I remember going to auditions and you'd see that top 5.
Yeah.
Sitting there and wanting to speak and wanting to be nice to each other. And I would always just go walk out in the hallway because I would not want to get unfocused. Because that was something that my acting coach told me at the time. She's, be nice later. And you have to stay focused. The spirit of competition sometimes is a lonely place. And she was right. And so for Halle to share that moment with us is a moment and a feeling I never forget. And they play it all the time.
Yeah.
So thank you, Halle. Thank you, HB.
I love it. Now, another film I love that is really, I call this your movie. And I remember watching it all the time. Okay?
Okay, now I know where you're going. Yeah.
Two can play that game.
Yes.
Morris Chestnut returns.
Yes.
A little bit older, a little bit
Child.
more,
Okay.
he like, look, okay.
Yes.
But, you know, I love the movie Boomerang. I love the remake of Alfie
Yeah.
with Jude Law and him breaking the fourth wall. And I remember seeing that movie and watching you break the fourth wall and watching you in the suit, and being because yes, we talk about number one and number two on the call sheet.
Yes.
That's a very industry term. To me, I think of you in that movie as you're centered.
Yes.
It's your movie.
Yes.
And I loved it so much. I'm just curious how it came together. Because I
turned it down 3 times, just so you know.
Wow.
Yeah, I hated the script at first.
Okay.
Hated it. Shantae was such a bitch. She was so condescending. The way she spoke to the audience was just unacceptable to me. So I turned it down.
Wow.
So finally, Clint Culpepper, Sony Jams, came to me and said, "Bitch, we can't make this movie without you." And I said, "Oh,
this is true."
Okay. He said, "How can I make you happy? I cannot make this movie without you, Vivica Fox." And I said, "The script is awful." And he says, "Okay, come have a meeting. I'm going to have you meet with the director, and we are going to figure this out because you are going to do this film. This is going to be good for you." So I got out of my own way, and this was the first time as the lead in a film that I said, "This is not working for me. This isn't working for me." And I wasn't mean with it. I just was honest. And when a person feels you coming with honesty and transparency, I think they can be a little bit more open to. Now, the director, Mark Brown, wasn't happy.
Okay.
Because, it was the first movie for him. So he wrote it and was directing it. And so he was very married to the words.
Okay.
And I had to explain my motivation, why it wasn't working for me as an actress. And Clint Culpepper was like, "Listen to her. Listen, Mark."
Wow.
And so I told him, I said, "It's got to be a battle of the sexes. If Shantae is winning all the time, no one's going to care. If she's beating Keith up and belittling him, no one's they're going to hate me."
And Anthony Anderson does a great turn.
And then Anthony Anderson brought his whole thing in it. I didn't even, oh my gosh. Then we had Wendy and we had Monique. And then Tamala, I brought her from Booty Call. I said, and then Gabrielle.
Yes, Gabrielle
came out there with that ponytail, okay? And her and me, and I mean, it worked, but the characters had to make sense. Thank you, F. Gary Gray, for teaching me about characters and how they have to connect, and it's got to make sense. We can't just stand up there and be saying lines, and we was all fine, too. Now, how can you have that fine cast and they suck?
Y'all continue to be fine.
Okay, what? That part.
That's also true. Like, y'all were like just the Avengers.
Yeah, I mean, it was a beautiful cast. And then I had to fight with them for the wardrobe. Girl, they had this wardrobe lady. She was awful.
Oh, no.
She was awful. She really was. I said,
because you were like, suited.
This was the first time that I whipped out my own credit card. Yep, and I got that from my girlfriend, Cassandra Mills. She says, "Invest in yourself." Because there were so many stereotypical ways of how we dressed and everything, and it wasn't Vivica bringing her nuance to it. She was like, "You need to drive a convertible. Don't be driving." You know what they always want to say? Black people drive a BMW. This BMW stands for Black People Mobile. So the Jaguar was, and she wanted to be red. And the first time I see you, I want you to be like yellow. That's why I'm so connected to the color yellow. I'm surprised I didn't wear yellow today, but I did wear a suit for you.
Come on, give a Shantae.
So I fought for everything. Wow. The way we talk, the way we walk, the way we look. I said the audience has got to be captivated by these characters, that they want to go on this journey of the battle of sexes with them.
Yes.
And
you succeeded.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. I mean, I think that's what I can feel, because even when I was revisiting it, and I was wondering, I wonder how much she had to do with all of this.
Everything.
But yeah, because it is your moment.
Baby, it was.
It is that moment for you.
And that night that I went to the premiere and walked out of the limousine and saw starring Vivica A. Fox. Because see, I've always was number 2, 3 on the call sheet.
So I was saying, this is your thing.
This was number 1 on the call sheet. And so I had no choice but to really step into being a movie star that night. And that premiere, I'll never forget, was just, I was pinching myself the whole time because I was like, it worked. I could feel the audience reaction. Oh. I could feel the energy, girl. The after party was lit. Yeah. Sure. Everybody wanted to hang out. And then the phone continued to ring. But that was because I believed in me and my vision and myself. And I think, I won't say this, I know that I opened the door for them to see beautiful Black women on the screen looking amazing, sounding amazing, you know, that I helped in that. Because I fought for wardrobe. I still fight for it in my films, to be honest with you. I'm like, we need color. Okay, why is she in those ugly colors? That's just, come on.
No, the color palette in that movie is great. It's so spring and light
Yes.
and beautiful. But I think it's interesting because when I got to that movie, which I loved,
Yeah.
I was excited to revisit it again. But I also just thought, wow, what a beautiful culmination to get to that point.
And I made sure we had black makeup artists and black hairdressers.
Well, because it's the blackest movie that ever lived. I mean, everyone in it is black. But I remember getting the DVD and watching the extra the special features.
Yeah, the bloopers.
And,
Yeah.
But also just watching the interviews that you guys were doing about dating and all that kind of stuff. Because I just was so fascinated by these actors and dealing with relationships. It's just such a great movie.
Thank you.
And then also when we were on DVD, everybody had it on DVD.
Back then, sure did.
Everybody had
Do
it
you
at the
know that
crib.
Quentin Tarantino, how I got Kill Bill, was because he was in the DVD store and saw
Two can play that game, the cover?
Yeah.
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 Because also it's like you with like Morris Chestnut. It's so
with the dress on. Yeah.
It's true. Only you could do that. Because you're that woman that like black women understand that you're attractive, but they still want to be your friend.
Yeah.
They still
But
want to
can
be
I tell you,
cool
it's been
with you. And guys, they know the guys are probably
yeah.
looking at you more than
Yeah.
them, but they don't mind. And that's a very unique thing to have.
Agreed.
That's like
and I'm
you're
telling you,
beautiful
it's
and we'll deal with it because you're not resting on it.
yeah.
You're not leaning on it. You're like,
And I'm
this is
not
what it
mean.
is. Yeah. And everybody's sort of like, okay, yeah, you're the pretty girl that they over here they're looking at. But I like you're funny and we're having a good time. And it's good. It's cool. And so I just think that's a part of your magic. But speaking of movie star moments, let's talk about Kill Bill.
Yes.
Oh, you won.
Whew.
What was it like working with Quentin Tarantino?
Awesome. Yeah, again, I told you he's one of my favorite directors. Quentin Tarantino is one of the most precise. He will not waste your time. He will let you know whether you're hitting it or whether you're not. Like he'll stop you in between the cut, and you can always tell whether or not you've hit it, whether or not you've nailed it, the way that he else cut. I'm serious. I would know whether or not I've done it. I've nailed it because he doesn't like to do a lot of takes, and it will be the way cut. So when you get one of those with an in it, you know you did good. So, but we practiced. I trained for 6 months. I literally went from a size 8'10" down to a 2. That's all we did was work out. I thought we were training for the Olympics. I'm not gonna lie. Lord Jesus, that's all 45 minutes, top of the day, stretch. Because we would be so tight from all the kicks and learning the stunts. Because he's like, it's gonna be you. And I did 97% of that fight scene, except for falling into the glass table. And I wanted to do it. And he was like, no, it's sugar glass and somebody's going to get cut. She might get a little, and she ended up getting 4 stitches. But yeah, but I wanted to try it. And I remember the last day of filming, because we called it the Brawl in Pasadena, that I counted the bruises on my legs and arms, and I had 30. But I was proud of them. I really was. I was like, that's when that table fell on you right there. I got up and kicked the table. Don't know what that was going to solve. But yeah, everything that we did, it was worth the training. And I had a special booty light, but I did booty call. That was his reasoning for it. And hey, I had been training for 6 months. I was like, yes, my booty is looking righteous. So if you go back and you look at the movie, when I kick her through the door, there's a booty light. When I come into the front room and the bus is coming, there's a booty light.
I was spending all morning with those movies, and you're so precise in it, and you just fit. It makes so much sense. And I'm just curious for you, what was that time like in your career to be at that place and obviously to be working with Quentin Tarantino and Uma Thurman, like, and for you to be really also centered in those films? What did that feel like for you?
It was difficult, to be very honest. It was difficult but fun because he demanded a lot of you. And I'll never forget that we would train Monday through Friday, and then on Fridays, he would critique you. And I didn't like being critiqued negatively, is all I'm going to say. So one time I just kind of popped off and said, well, did I do anything right? Damn. And Uma Thurman grabbed me, and after we finished, she was like, please don't do that again. And I said, but he's not giving us any, I turned into a little bitch. He's not giving us any compliments, and I'm tired of working so hard, and he hasn't given us any compliments, and I think we need some positive reassurance. And she said, he can fire you.
Oh.
And that was all she had to say. I never complained.
Wow. Well, talk about sisterhood.
Yes.
Do you feel as though that was a teachable moment?
Oh, absolutely.
You're grateful for that conversation?
Not everyone can take constructive criticism. Because I've worked with some actors, and I went over, hey, da-da-da-da-da, and I know what I'm doing. And I was like, oh, you ain't got to worry about me giving you another note again. Okay, let me stay on over here.
Fool me once.
Okay, won't happen again. And so it was a huge learning lesson for me to know my place, play my position, and stay in my lane. Do you know what I mean? And that's hard in life to learn when you think you're on this thing of success. And by then I was starting to have box office success and everything. I was like, I know what I'm talking about. And she's like, So, I'm one that can take constructive criticism because I was, like I said, an athlete growing up. So I always had a coach or someone trying to make me a better person, and to be a sponge to receive that is something that I try to pass on to other young actors. Listen, react. If someone passes something on to you, take it in. Try to grow from it. Don't be so stuck and in your own way that you can't grow, because growing is always going to lead you to another chapter as far as I'm concerned.
That's really special. You said, because you are athletic, so I was curious, in terms of getting ready for Kill Bill, you talk about how intense the training was. Was that something you kind of slipped easily into, or did you need to kind of get back into that action movie energy again?
Well, I'm not going to lie. Working out 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, some days you didn't feel like it. You know what I mean? Some days you were like, really? Again? The treadmill again, sit-ups again, kicks again. But that's when you've got to learn that there's a reason, there's a method to his madness. And when I say that, Tarantino, that he wanted us to look like assassins. He didn't want to use a lot of stunt doubles. We had them. But his preference was for us to do the fight scenes. And that's why, yet again, it was a classic. Uma, they won best fight scene, even though I thought mine should have. But...
Yes.
But Uma and Gogo, their fight scene won, which it was amazing. All the fight scenes were amazing, but there were difficult days, absolutely. And then I had to go to freaking Beijing. And when he said, oh, you can say, because we trained for 6 months. So they went over to Beijing for a month. So I was like, dope, I'll be waiting on y'all when y'all get back, because my scene is in Pasadena. They're like, no, you're going to Beijing. But during this time, I got close with the late David Carradine.
Wow.
Yeah, who I'll always treasure our breakfasts together.
Wow.
Yeah, I learned about all 5 of his marriages.
But just what an experience to be a part of, and that legacy as well. Yeah. Kill Bill Volume 1, Volume 2. It's just, I remember that time and just thinking how exciting it was for you, which feels like you're one of us, to be a part of that franchise. It really felt, and also just felt like it made so much sense.
And did you know why he killed me first? Because he wanted to piss the audience off.
Oh, I'm still pissed. Watched it again this morning. Still pissed. Your daughter there?
Yeah, the kid. You did it in front of the kid. But it was to set up. Remember she said to my daughter, if you're sore about it, come see me.
That's right.
It was to set that up. So I'm just asking for us to do it so I can be in a flashback. That's all I'll say.
No, it was amazing.
Thank you.
And then, we're going to wrap up with one of the great comedic shows ever on television, which is Curb Enthusiasm. First of all, I'm curious how that came to you.
Yes.
How did that come about?
So I was on my way to Jamaica or somewhere. I was headed to Turks and Caicos, because my show had been canceled and I was pissed. And I forget what show it is at the time. Forgive me.
Okay.
I always had them sitcoms that seemed like they were going to make it to season 2 and yanked. And I remember I was getting ready to go to Turks and Caicos. I wanted to soak my sorrows and be by the beach and just over this. And I got a call from my manager, Lita Richardson, and she said, girl, they just called to ask you to do Curb Your Enthusiasm. I didn't know of the show.
Okay.
I know. Listen, I know. I got told about this, okay? I know. So I was like, first of all, what is Curb Your Enthusiasm? It is, of course it is. And so I'm like, what's Curb Your Enthusiasm? Look, I'm in a funk. Okay, I'm ready to go to Turks and Caicos, all right?
Curb?
What's Curb Your Enthusiasm? Yes. So my manager goes, my husband loves this show, Vivica. It's the funniest thing out there.
Yeah.
It's from the creator of Seinfeld. Da-da-da-da-da. I was like,
Her telling you what Curb Your Enthusiasm is my favorite thing.
you know, I didn't get it. So Leonard, LD, who we're born on the same day, Leonard, my manager's husband, we're born on the same day. We're both Leos. He goes, I can get you this part if you go in there and you call him LD, because you have to write your own script.
The LD, you saying it every time.
Now,
Just gets a
you
laugh.
get it,
LD,
okay?
what
Well, that line came from Leonard Richardson, just so you know.
Wow.
And he said, Vivica, I guarantee you, if you call him LD, you can get this part. So the scene was about us, and he was coming home with some ice cream, and he didn't bring me no ice cream. So as soon as he walked in, I was like, yo, what up, LD? So you just bought ice cream for yourself? And can I tell you, he told me later, he said, Vivica, when you called me LD, I knew you were right for the part.
Wow.
Isn't that trippy?
That's amazing.
Yeah. So anyway, get all the way to Turks and Caicos, got on my swimsuit, about to be at the pool, chilling. Ring. You got the part.
Come on,
Had to get
guys.
back on the plane. Oh, trust, I went back to Turks after work. But at the time, I was just like, literally like, I got the part. Huh. Okay, I guess I'm happy. So
Quentin Tarantino, Larry David.
I mean, you know, the lineup is getting great.
Okay.
So, yeah. So I got back on the plane, came back, and got to work with Larry David, who now, I used to never get noticed in New York.
You're on Curb.
I'm on Curb, right. And so now, after Curb Your Enthusiasm, everywhere I went to New York, they were like, oh my God, you're so funny. So...
what was it like working with Larry David?
Larry David, I had to learn to be the queen of reactions, because to me, the show is kind of like for guys. You know how sometimes, once again, know your place, play position, stay in your lane. So I kind of got it. Like him and JB Smoove, they would just go at it, and they still are. What are they on, season 15 or something now? Mm-hmm. So I had to learn to be queen of reactions, which was good for me, because as an actress, I always tell my actors, react. It's not always about the dialogue. It's sometimes those moments that happen when you're saying nothing. Are you listening? Are you reacting? So that's where I got that from, and I thank Larry David for that.
Wow. I mean, well, also you had some working with Jamie Foxx and Tommy Davidson. Like Larry David's like almost like light work. You're like,
but
okay.
It was different though.
Yes, true.
You know, hood comedy is way different than the Curb comedy. Because Curb Your Enthusiasm comedy is that like intelligent Jewish / no, really.
It's different.
Yeah, it was different. You know, the Seinfeld, it was a whole different world. So I just embraced being queen of reactions.
Well, you fit into the show so effortlessly, it seems. Like it just makes sense. Even though you
wanted me to wear no makeup, which drove me bananas.
Well, you didn't.
Which, no, listen, I like my drag. Don't get me wrong. Thank God I look okay without makeup on. But, I mean, it was like makeup check as soon as I arrived on the set. And that would become a little irritating after a while. That was like, sure you don't have anything on?
Oh. Wow.
Imagine that.
Wow.
Imagine that.
And
I would try to sneak. You know, sister got to have a little liner, a little...
It's funny because now thinking about it, I mean, you look beautiful. I don't know if you have, you look
No,
fresh
thank
face.
God. Yes, but no, it was like makeup check, because he says, you're Vivica A. Fox. You know, everybody just, Vivica A. Fox.
True.
I don't want them to see Vivica A. Fox.
That is true.
It was like a breaking down of
just
what I established a little bit.
Because you are a movie star. Like, we have to just acknowledge that. But then you have to also blend into the world.
Exactly.
And that's what I think, that's why I was one of the, the last things I wanted to talk about, because in watching it, I almost realized that must have been the most difficult thing, because you have to sort of just be still and light and not that Vivica we're all used to.
Exactly.
But also I feel held in your performance like I do in all the other ones. But it's a different
But then I got to grow. So it was a growth thing that then by the time I finally cussed Susie out, everybody was like, yes!
Yes, you broke through. Wow. Finally, last question.
Okay.
What is your definition of a really great actress?
Oh, gosh. That's a really good question, to be very honest with you. My definition of a really good actress is when I totally believe you. I believe every moment, every word, every sacrifice. I go on the complete journey with you, with that character. And someone who just, if I could say real quick, she blows me away. I mean, there's a lot of people that I love watching. I even love watching you. I mean, I just think you're amazing. Like before I came here today, I Googled you and your creds and everything that you are and have become. And now I get it now that you were that woman in Chicago, that little kid, that the magic of movies you loved. So it explains why you are who you are. And I commend you for that. But my all-time favorite is Angela Bassett.
Ooh, come on.
I love watching Angela and her essence and everything. When they be robbing her and them Oscars, child, I'd be mad as hell. I'd be ready to come through. I know I'd be walking around with attitude for a couple of days. Like, see how they do a sister? Ooh. I'm pissed off again. But I do. I just love Angela and her vulnerability and her strength. And one other person is Pam Grier. I named my production company after Pam Grier. Pam Grier was the most amazing Black woman I've ever seen on camera as a child. And I named my production company after her, Foxy Brown Productions. See? So.
Well, first of all, thank you for that
You're
definition. Welcome. And also, I believe you are that definition, because we talked about all of these roles that you've breathed life into.
Yes.
We always believe you.
Thank you.
And I think that's because you're so honest in your work. So honest, so real. And when I've been watching all of your work, what I see is a woman who reminds us of ourselves. And that's what's so special about watching you, is that you feel like home. But it's a really nice home. It's a really.
Do you think that's why for a minute they started calling me Auntie Vivica? It was that for a long time, and I didn't give her, because first I was offended. At first I was like, "Oh, you trying to say I'm old? I mean, what's happening?" I was the young little sex symbol. Now all of a sudden I'm Auntie Vivica. Where are we going with that? But then now they call me Legend.
That's right.
And I went into that chapter gracefully. Yes. Like that one, like I took it, like I got it. Okay.
You are. And even you talk about Pam Grier, for a generation like me, you represent that.
Thank you.
That yes, you're sexy, but there's a strength and there's a vulnerability that is such a rare thing to have. And I think I remember when I wanted to do this, I just kept thinking about who are the actresses that were so present in my growing up that helped shape to me what a Black woman is. Yes. And you continue to show up, but in so many different ways. And you've shown us how a Black woman can exist on the big screen, on the small screen. And you never judge these characters. You love them.
Yes.
And I think because you exist the way that you do, so many of us get to see ourselves in the bright lights, in this American cinema that defines us. You get to be a part of that definition. And I think for myself and for so many, we say thank you for existing the way you do on celluloid, because it is forever. And someone will always be able to look back and see your work.
She gonna make me cry, y'all.
I'm just saying, someone will be able to look back and see your work and never be able to say that we weren't here, because you represent us in such a beautiful way. And I'm so grateful to you for all of these movies, all of these shows, all of the work, all of you on the treadmill, you working, you training, you sacrificing, even parts of your personal life to be that star for us. And we're grateful. And I love you.
I love you back.
I'm gonna hug you now. You're so amazing.
You too, watch your head.
I will.
You know I'm a crybaby, okay?
You're amazing.
Oh my God, why are you doing this to me, child? We gotta take pictures, honey. Go get me crying my lashes
They'll
off.
let you pat.
Okay.
But you're amazing.
Thank you.
This has been amazing.
This has been such a journey. I cannot tell you. You know, being that girl from 38th and Emerson in Indiana that came out here with a search of a dream, that I have been lived out my wildest expectations. I've went everywhere, and I'm loving it. Like, this has been like the happiest time I'm having right now.
Wow.
And I'm in my 60s.
Come on, I can't tell.
Okay, well, hey, thank you, child. These knees can, but
look. No,
but thank you. This is awesome. Thank you. I looked forward to today.
Wow, today was a blessing, a gift, and I'm grateful.
Oh, I ain't in your camera, am I?
No, it's a cut. In
Get
there.
out. Okay, good.
That's a
And cut!
Legacy, oh, legacy.